Good afternoon. It's Joyful Christian Hermit. Think I'm making progress here. Thanks for prayers. And thanks for your comments. They've been very interesting today. And last night I had done a video, but I didn't post it. And somehow I lost it. But I want to do it again, but it's not going to be this one. It's more of a serious one on how we handle Christmas Day and Christmas evening, the whole effect of it, how we react to different aspects of Christmas regarding relationships with others, in our families, with friendships, and strangers even. But this one, I want to talk about herbs and other medicinals. And because I had mentioned in a previous video that I'm going to smoke some sage in here to get the air cleaned. Add some of sage has many qualities to it that are antiseptic and helpful to cleansing. And another herb, lavender, was used. The Virgin Mary used lavender, it was said, to wash the infant's clothes in. But sage actually was used. There's a legend that on the flight to into Egypt with the infant, that sage can get to be quite large and make a thick covering. The leaves can get large and they're sort of velvety feeling. And Mary and the baby were nursed. She nursed the baby under a large mound of sage growing for their protection. Joseph had to stop so she could nurse him in, and that's where she went, under some sage. So it's in the Middle Ages, and before, sage then was called Mary's shawl. Mary's shawl, because it was like the sage was covering them, and she was covering the baby, protecting with sage. So it's not anything evil. I did look online because somebody mentioned, that they're selling it in witchcraft stores. Well, they sell incense in witchcraft stores. Does that mean that priests stop using incense in masses? Or Jewish high priests also? Or Buddhists? There's lots of Hindus use incense. And a frankincense is in it. I have some frankincense oil that's also good. I'm going to dab some right here. It's supposed to help, because my sinuses, they're draining, but it's getting in my lungs. So it's, we do what we can do. God created herbs. Hyssop, I grow hyssop. That was what they lifted up to Jesus when he was thirsty. They dipped hyssop into some wine and or vinegar and lifted it up to his lips. Hyssop is used had been in masses before, in years past. Also, they would sweep the altar with it. It's supposed to be cleansing and purifying. So if we start being dictated to what New Age people do, or witches and Wiccans do, the male and female witches do, we may as well stop doing all of our traditions in churches. And, they sell Bibles, they desecrate the Bible, they sell their own versions. It just won't stop. We cannot be bullied. It's the intention that matters. Rue is another old herb. I have a Mary garden book. I've had Mary gardens. But we have to understand, using holy water. Now, I didn't look up if Teresa of Avila really put holy water in her water to drink it. I'm not going to do that. My holy water is old. I had a huge bottle of it and got it out of a font. And I'm not going to drink that. People's hands were in there and who knows what. Somebody might have even spit in it who's anti-Catholic. We don't know. So, if St. Teresa put drops of holy water in her drinking water, fine. I'm just not going to do that. I'm drinking right now, my mugs I use at Christmas, nativity mugs, sage, strong sage cooked. And then I'm also going to make thyme because thyme is good also. But sage helps sore throats, which I've got. So, no, Protestants and others think that Catholics are superstitious and cultish and not Christian, that it's not Christian. Using holy water, they find that offensive and ridiculous and sort of witchcraftish ourselves. So, we can't, if we start becoming divisive with these things, and, I am not a witch. I've used sage and I have wafted it around when we've had infection over 50 years ago. I used it, so, but I see it has become trendy, and I forget what they call it, smudging or something like that, sludging, and sell sludge sticks, or they're probably like incense, sage incense, little sticks of incense, and give it a name, make it trendy. It is a business, and they sell it. And there's nothing evil about it. People take holy things and are making them evil. God created different herbs for our use and benefit. And the herbs are known, like horehound. I grow horehound. And that's very good for cold coughs and colds. This is an infection I've got. Bacterial infections. So, we use common sense, and we cannot be dictated to by what, if other people want to call us witches, or that we're doing something unchristian. I saw an article, some group online, they call themselves Christian something, saying that burning sage is unchristian, unholy, sinful even, sinful. Well, whatever they want to say, it's not. It's an herb that God created that has medicinal qualities. And it wasn't just the Native Americans. Way back in ancient times, it was used to purify and cleanse by smoking it, to clean out when they would have infections. So in caves and things. So it's utilized. It's a utilitarian herb with many different uses, including drinking it when you simmer it. So it's just, stop using holy water. Other people say it's bad, it's sinful. Are we going to do that? Or are we just going to be the ones making the rules? Some site, some group deciding what's sinful, just because witches have taken it over as a practice, and making money on it in their stores. Guarantee you they sell incense in them too. So then let's not use incense at Mass anymore. The holy oils, chrism oils. Do you know what Protestants think about those? How sinful. Strange oils. Rituals with oils, Bad, sinful. Catholics are sinners. Catholics are going to hell. I've had relatives convinced I was going to hell. They don't think so now because they don't think I'm Catholic. So after years, I don't think they think I'm Catholic. I can't go to Mass. I don't talk about it with them at all. So, ease their worries. They were worried. cried that I was going to hell for being a Catholic. So we have to do our best to protect other people. And maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that I was using sage, but maybe it's good to explain. We've got to use holy common sense. God did not create things to have us later on in fear and trembling that because witches use it, that somehow it's sinful now. God didn't create sage as sinful. It's just an herb with qualities that are wonderful and helpful to our bodies and for certain aspects like throats and sinus infections and killing germs. So please, we got to keep a sense of humor and can't, knee-jerk reactions. I guess I'm not sounding like I have a sense of humor, but it is funny because if we start looking what people think about Catholics, and oh my, we're not talking the Ouija board here. The Ouija board is bad. That's a lead-in for the devil. Now, if I were a demonic person using this, I'd still be a demonic person. I'm not. Smoking that sage is not going to make me demonic. The devil isn't in that herb. Grown right in my pot. So, and I'm not doing any kind of demonic incantations with it, or I'll just ask God to thank him for his sage and for the gift of fire and smoke, and ask him to help the sage be potent, to freshen up my bedroom where I'm in all the time, coughing and have this bad sinus infection. That's all I'm going to do. Don't have any ulterior motives. It's our intentions and love that matters. I love sage. Doesn't taste really super good, but it's an acquired taste. But it's good for me. It's helping. It's not evil. Probably some witch out there drinks hot sage when she's sick. Or a Wickham. Is the Wickham the man? No, the witches are the men. Or I don't know which is which, but the male witches probably drink it too. People of other religions do. Who else could we? New Age people, herbalists. Martin de Porres, Saint Martin de Porres. He treated people with herbs. He's a saint. He was in Peru, Lima, Peru, South America. He was known. He was a doctor, but back then they used herbs in their doctoring. Now, in early Christianity, mandrake was one of the herbs used. There were 5 main ones, and there's like 15 others also, but all of these are included. But mandrake was a major one. There were 5 major ones that were used a lot. I'm trying to remember the one that they used for purifying. I can't think of it, but you can Google it and see. It's good to educate ourselves. We've got to stand firm and can't be running scared. And it's too bad this Christian group, whoever they are, has this site online saying that burnings, you see these people write, is burning sage a sin? Oh yes, don't do it, that's sinful. Well, that's just been recent. That's why I was stunned. I say I've used sage for 50 years or more. So, Hildegard of Bingen, major herbalist. They didn't have the medications we have. And I try not to take a lot of medications. I'd rather use herbs. And one of our viewers, a fine artist, exclusive artist, Carol, she emphasized with me very kindly as a friend, to try not to take medications and avoid surgeries and things, and especially opioids and stuff. But I wrote, and I think she understands, if you have pain that other things do not handle. But I augment with, I take lots of vitamin D, different things that doctors have said, different vitamins, different supplements to help with pain. Alpha lipoic acid helps with neuropathy in my legs. I'm trying to keep going so that I am not someone else's responsibility, in other words. Hermits have to keep going, and we suffer alone with God and the saints and the angels and the two dogs here and the souls of people, my mom and dad. Whoever we think about strongly, I think that they know and they're present with us. But always his real presence, the Trinity, is with us and in us. So, drinking the sage is drinking something that God created. And he isn't opposed to that. He made it for a purpose. God created these things with different help to us, knowing, especially that earlier and earlier times, that this would be all they would have until people evolved and chemistry and all of this developed to come up with other medications that would stop plagues. And maybe that's partly why it was Saint Rosalia of Palermo, Sicily, who her relics were found, and she appeared in a dream to someone, and they found her where her relics would be found, up in a cave, up in the hills of Sicily, and if they would parade those, in a procession, her relics, they found them where she said, this person who had this dream, about 400 years after she had died. It was written on the wall in the cave, her time that she was there, her name, and there had been legend of her up there, Rosalia. So, son of Sinibald or something, daughter of Sinibald. So, there was a terrible plague at that time, killing people in Sicily, especially Palermo. And it had come from the fishermen, bringing it back from some place they had been. And the plague left. It was a miracle. Well, we haven't had miracles like that. Instead, God has given us miracle of different antibiotics that people created. And I mentioned in the other video, the man from my hometown who lost his life offered himself in a test group, he didn't know which, for typhoid fever medication. And he died. But the medication worked for the group that got the medication and didn't get the placebo. And he saved hundreds of thousands of people's lives. So that medicine was the miracle. God didn't need to have a saint's bones processed through a miracle of that nature to stop the plagues. Instead, creating a medication, an antibiotic type or a medication specifically. So that's, see if this is still going or it's still going. Anyway, have faith, stay close to God, love His creation, utilize His creation for what He made it for. We can say, well, liquor, God created the elements that are in liquor. Well, if you're an alcoholic, that's not good to drink. And don't drink it to excess. But in other times, they would put some strong brandy in something to help someone, help a sore throat, and help someone sleep. Give a child a tablespoon of whiskey or something, and they'd fall asleep and wake up feeling a little better because they'd had necessary rest. But we don't do that now. We have medication to give them. And if you can get a child to drink this, I think I've told you about my spiritual da and the quart that I made, a combo of herbs. This has been probably 20 years ago. He was very sick with cold or, I don't know, chest congestion, sore throat, and I took a quart out to the convent where he was the chaplain with instructions, to make it hot and drink a glass. Drink a mug of it. Even though I said it's going to taste bad, if you want to, put some honey in it to make it taste better. Well, he later said that he spit it out, just spit it out as soon as he took a sip. The sister who had made it for him had given him his hot mug, and he told her, "Glory to God, what's she trying to do? Kill me," meaning me, killing him. And he says, throw that out, wash it down the sink. He says, oh, glory be to God, it's terrible. He had this thick Irish brogue and he told me about what he had done. And said, what on earth, you were trying to kill me? I said, no. I said it would help, but I said, it's fine. He had to get some antibiotics. It wouldn't have handled it without the antibiotics, but it would have relieved his symptoms a little bit, helped his throat, and it does help, get the lungs going, loosens things up, decongestant, and same with the smoking, with that. And I did mention that the Native Americans felt that it warded off evil spirits. Well, that's what they think. Maybe the witches do too. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'm sorry if they do. I'm sure the devil probably doesn't like it, especially because I'm going to be praying, asking God to cleanse my room of infection. The devil doesn't want us praying, but it's nothing that has been proven. Now, the rosary has been proven that the devil doesn't like the rosary and will flee. Exorcist priests, that's why they use rosaries. Well, it draws the devil out of the person because the devil can't stand the rosary and is really bothered by the Virgin Mary a lot. So I will probably refer to this as the Mary Garden name of it, Mary Shaw, that I'm burning Mary Shaw. And may as well make this into a positive Christian experience, but not some kind of a ritual or, it's utilitarian. And praise God for it, for all the benefits of, different herbs, different plants. So many good things are made from plants and foods and all. So herbs or have always been known. Hildegard de Bingen was known in her area in Germany as an herbalist and able to help heal people that way. So, we're not saying she's sinful. She used sage. Maybe she burned it. It's the smoke effect. You don't just burn it. I baked it last night in the oven for about an hour, less than an hour, just to get it dried. And when I had a bigger herb garden and an old attic, I used to hang them up from the rafters and let them dry. So my Protestant ancestors used them. So it's used herbs, dried herbs, for various purposes. So I just want to share that with you, that we got to sort of lighten up a little bit, and it's the intention with which we do things, and to have holy intention, but not to fear God's creation, and be grateful for it. So God bless his real presence in us. God's real presence is in us. And you don't have to use herbs either for our ailments. So just what we do use, do with great love, as Teresa of Avila said. Do all with great love. And, Jesus says that too, of course. I think it's good to always count on Jesus and what he says. But no, I don't think the word sage is in the Bible, other than as a wise sage, a wise person. So we're not going to find every word in the Bible. And I don't think mandrake might be in the Old Testament. Different herbs, plants, grain. We hear the word grain in the Bible. So let's just go forth in faith and love and joy and gratitude, and firm in our Christian stance, our Christian being, firm in our soul that is filled with Christ, with the Holy Spirit, and with God the Father, and love. God is love. So love what we're doing. Again, we're not doing the Ouija board. This is not. And don't make it into something icky either. Just use the beauty of our souls in gratitude for God, for all the help he gives us. God bless his real presence in us. And thank you for listening and praying for me. And I'm very grateful for everyone. And please have a sense of humor about all this too. I'll let you know how it goes. Hope I don't burn the place down. No, I won't. I'll get like a lid to put down over my tray, and I use hot pads to hold it. And I just keep it there on that foil. I make a bed of foil. But incensers, I have an incenser. I could put this sage in my incenser that I got in Rome at Vatican City. See, incense. It's not bad. Just want everyone to know, not to get wrought up. Unless you want. If you fear it, then don't use it. Don't drink it. Okay, enough of me.